My family tried to expose me, but ended up exposing themselves. They leaked my texts, so I leaked Mom's affair, Dad's fake degree, and my brother's confession about stealing Grandma's jewelry. It started with silence, that kind of silence in the family group chat that feels thick with anticipation, unnatural, waiting to explode. Then came the first blow, quiet but deliberate, a screenshot, my message, one I'd sent in a private conversation to a cousin I thought I could trust. They'd taken it, stripped it of its context, and plastered it for everyone to see. A few lines, carefully selected, meant to paint me as the one spiraling. You always make things worse. Maybe I should just leave and never come back. No one here ever wanted me. Those were the lines they chose. Not the ones before or after that explained why I said them. Not the conversations about how I was shut down every time I tried to speak, or how I was told to be quiet and respect your elders whenever I pointed out something they didn't want to hear. No, just those few. Then the whispers started, passive-aggressive texts from aunts, silence from Dad, a worried call from Mom, her voice too sweet to be genuine, like sugar hiding rust. My brother? He posted a meme in the chat as if that somehow made him neutral, as if he wasn't the one who handed over the texts in the first place. I knew. He'd always had a weakness for chaos, as long as it didn't touch him directly. But this time, he'd miscalculated. They wanted a villain, so I gave them one. What they didn't realize was that I'd been documenting everything for years, not out of malice, out of habit, out of the simple understanding that in this family, memories were edited like home videos. Only the smiling parts survived. So when Mom started texting a man she called T, asking him if he missed the smell of her shampoo and telling him she couldn't sleep next to Dad anymore, I didn't say anything. I just archived the messages. I never asked why she always left the room to take his calls or why she suddenly cared about wearing lipstick to yoga. I had her messages saved, dated, labeled, backed up. As for Dad, he always introduced himself as a graduate of Whitmore Business Academy. Always said it like it meant something. But one day when I tried to verify the name for a background check at work, the website redirected me to a placeholder full of spelling errors and half-broken links. A little more digging revealed it wasn't accredited, not even real anymore. It had shut down 10 years ago after being exposed as a diploma mill. That's where he got his degree, printed and framed on his office wall like a trophy. I had screenshots of every page that exposed it. But the one that really stung, my brother's mistake, that one he brought to me himself, hands shaking, voice low, eyes red from sleeplessness. He told me how, after Grandma died, he'd gone through her room, found the old wooden box she kept her jewelry in, and how he took it. Not all of it, just the good pieces. Said he was planning to replace them eventually, and that she would have wanted him to have something. I'd kept that audio message tucked away, out of loyalty, until now. So when they decided to turn the spotlight on me, when they tried to cast me as the problem, the unstable one, the burden, I didn't lash out. I responded, one message at a time, in the same group chat. No introduction, no build-up. First came the screenshots, Mom's messages to T with timestamps, full names, contact info. Then Dad's fake degree, side-by-side comparisons of real university seals, and his fake one, a web archive showing the scam page. Lastly, the voice recording, my brother's voice, raw and slurred, admitting it all. The chat went dead. No emojis, no wow. Just that thick, humming silence again. Then chaos. Mom typing, deleting, typing again. That's not what it looks like. Dad sent a link to a completely different online school, claimed he must have been confused. My brother left the chat. Someone tried calling me. I declined it. Then another left. Then another. Arguments broke out in side chats, spilling back into the main one like a fire too big to contain. Accusations flying in every direction. But mine. I just watched. They had tried to bury me beneath half-truths and cheap shots. The silence didn't last. That kind of truth never fades into quiet. It erupts, splits the seams of carefully woven lies, and forces people to either face what they are or run from it. In this case, my family chose to scramble, patch, deny, and blame, anything but own what they'd done. Mom called first. I ignored it. Then came a voice note, shaky but dressed in forced calmness. She wanted to talk in private, said we were all hurting and I had overreacted. She didn't mention the affair directly, didn't say a word about the messages I exposed. Instead, she leaned into the narrative they always used when cornered, that I was too sensitive, too angry, too damaged to see clearly. Her voice, usually sharp and commanding, had cracks in it now. That part was new. I listened once, then deleted it. Dad followed the next morning. His approach was colder. Short message. "You've made your point. Come by so we can talk." No apology, no explanation. Just a directive like I was a child refusing dinner. He attached a link to another supposed certification from a different program, this one even sketchier than the last. I didn't respond. My brother, of all people, didn't reach out until 2 days later. Just one sentence. "I thought you were better than this." That was it. No denial, no excuse. Just a passive stab. I didn't reply to him either. I knew him too well. He wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry for getting caught. After that, things shifted. The family group chat stayed quiet. But other chats, smaller ones, started stirring. One cousin messaged me privately, asking if what I'd posted was real. Another aunt sent a vague message about how truth can be painful, but necessary. They were watching, reevaluating, not for my sake, but to protect themselves. The ones who stayed silent the first time were now peeling back from the pack, not because they were on my side, but because they didn't want to be next. I didn't reply to anyone. Then came the invitation. A family dinner, one of those formal ones they hosted after weddings, funerals, or some major fallout, this time disguised as a birthday. My cousins, apparently. But the real reason was clear. They wanted to fix the optics, control the story. They couldn't undo what I'd exposed, but they could try to make it look like everything was fine. I went. Not out of curiosity, not to forgive. I went to finish it. The dinner was held at our family's usual gathering spot, a rented hall just outside the city, decorated with white cloth-covered tables and fake floral centerpieces. Same place they held Grandma's memorial. Same place my brother told me about the jewelry. When I walked in, heads turned. A few people smiled too quickly. Others looked down. Some whispered. I didn't greet anyone. Just walked straight to the center table and took a seat. Dad was already there. He nodded, stiff. Mom sat beside him, dressed too formally for the occasion, eyes darting around the room. My brother stood by the buffet line, pretending not to notice me. The evening dragged with surface-level conversations. Forced laughter, compliments no one meant. I didn't say a word, not until dessert was served. Then, without raising my voice, without changing my tone, I stood up and tapped my glass. Everyone went quiet. "I won't take long," I said. "I just want to say something, now that we're all here." No one interrupted. They knew better now. "I'm not going to repeat what I shared in the group. You saw it. You know it. What I want to say is this. None of it should have been necessary. None of it would have come out if you hadn't decided to turn on me first. You tried to break me open in front of everyone. You tried to paint me as the unstable one, the problem. You did it with intent, not by accident." A few people shifted in their seats. Someone coughed. I stayed quiet for years. I watched Mom carry on a second life in whispers. I watched Dad brag about an achievement he never earned. I stayed silent while my brother confessed to stealing from a woman who trusted him. I didn't say a word, not out of fear, but out of loyalty, because I believed family deserved protection, even if they didn't protect me. Now everyone was still. I don't want your apologies. I don't want fake reconciliation. I don't want messages later saying how this could have been handled better. It's done. I told the truth because I was forced to, because you made me choose between being the scapegoat or surviving. Then I pulled out an envelope. It held the last piece, a printed set of documents, an old will amendment Grandma had sent to me weeks before she passed. She'd removed my brother from inheriting the jewelry, leaving it to me instead. Said she didn't trust him to value it. Said she wanted me to have it because I understood what legacy meant. I never mentioned it before. I didn't need to. But now, it was time. I placed the papers on the table in front of my father. He stared at them, unmoving. That's the last thing I'll share. Not because I'm trying to hurt anyone, but because she deserved better than to be stolen from by her own blood. Then I left. No one followed, not immediately. Not until I reached the parking lot. Then I heard footsteps, quick, uneven. It was my brother. "You think you've won?" he asked, voice low, trying to stay calm. "You think exposing us makes you better than us?" I turned to face him. "I didn't do this to win. I did it because you never gave me a choice. She was our grandma. Then why did you take what wasn't yours?" He didn't answer. "I'm done," I said. "No more messages, no more secrets. You want to keep lying to yourselves? Do it without dragging me with you." He didn't speak again, just turned and walked back. I got in my car and left. After that night, the chat died. No more events, no more forced invites. People picked sides quietly, some drifted toward me. Most stayed where it was safe. But they stopped coming after me, stopped twisting my words, stopped pretending I didn't see what they were hiding. And me? I started fresh, changed numbers, moved apartments, focused on people who never needed me to shrink so they could shine. The truth didn't destroy me. It freed me. They thought they were burying me in scandal, but they ended up digging their own collapse. Because in the end, it wasn't my secrets that shattered this family. It was theirs.